I'm not kind of guy who think that I will change the regulation. No, I think that we should help business to adapt to this regulation.
I have the pleasure to welcome in the studio Daniil Kirikov, who is serial entrepreneur and CEO, founding partner at 3F.lu, and most importantly, this is why I invited you today, from Easybiz. Welcome in the studio.
Thank you very much.
Nice to have you back. We already presented last year the main lines of Easybiz, but you've been experiencing a lot of growth over the past 12 months. So maybe can you start with this? Can you give us the key numbers behind the growth of Easybiz today?
Yeah, it's like the biggest number we can say that we actually doubled from our last interview. It was in December, I think, and we already doubled from that moment. Now, for us, the target for this year is to sign at least like 50 customers a month, and now we are around 30-40 per month. To be true, I'm not sure that there is anyone who signed more than we do nowadays.
So it's basically one new client per day in average.
Yeah,
at the moment.
Yeah, overall. And moreover, we didn't expect that we will receive this kind of type of the customers, different profile, because at the beginning we thought it will be mostly startup and a small business. Now it's different type of the customers, and yeah.
Very good. I went to see your software. You know, I'm a curious person. So you showed me basically what you do is you digitize everything related to the accounting of a company, from of course the onboarding to connecting with of course the bank accounts, letting people digitize everything, and you generate automatically all the legal obligations. One thing was shocking me in a way is those 24 hours. In specific case, you're able to get things running in 24 hours. Can you detail a little bit what I saw there?
Yeah. You mentioned several things. So the first onboarding, just for everyone who see, if you're doing any kind of regulated or financial business in Luxembourg, you have to deal with onboarding, and onboarding includes lots of different procedure. It's like literally we collecting over 200 different data points from the customer. And our goal was to make it really simple for the customer. We still have to be legit, and we still have to do all the checks, but we redone the onboarding in the last year 4 times, and this year we redone again. We have this iterative approach on optimizing, and now it led us to speed up the whole process to the moment where, for example, 24 hours it was incorporation, and 24 hours was including communication with the bank, was including communication with the notary and everything. So 24 hours, it's from the moment the customer submit the KYC and the whole package. And in 24 hours, he had the registered memorandum that was
because you don't need the bank account to be opened. You just
no, there was included the blocking certificate as well.
Also blocking certificate.
Yes, because we are integrated to several notaries. We're working with several notaries, and we integrated not only in the way of communicate, but also technically. Plus, we integrated with Luxembourg Bank. And we working deeply on level how we optimize together the compliance procedure, because you can imagine the compliance procedure of the bank, and somehow we need to merge the whole process to simplify it for the customer, and still to make it super simple for the whole process, and speed up the decision making process, and still to be legit. As far, I don't know, from the moment most of the customers don't understand, but from the moment the customer submitting what they plan to do and all this question and the KYC, just to understand what the customer is doing, we have tons of different checks on the back. For AML purpose, we need to check that the person is not doing any kind of money laundering, not involved, and whatever. Media checks, risk scoring. Based on risk scoring, we have additional question and so on. It's really
the UBOs, ultimate beneficial owner.
And it's kind of, when you think about the system as a customer, you think what's the difficult. Guys, it's crazy how difficult it is, and especially if you want to make it fast and simple, you have to count every single minute. We literally count every single minute for every single document. We have customer acceptance committee internally and all this stuff. We calculated, counting everything and trying to optimize.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
that led us to have the incorporation for 24 hours.
Yeah, and I encourage people to read our first interview. You're a serial entrepreneur. You happen to be now in accounting. You've done media. You've done a lot of other technological companies. So you have zero legacy. You approach everything from a technological start point, and then you learn and solve as you go. I know a key number that we often talk of the record is 1 billion. You clearly want to establish a unicorn out of Luxembourg. So a client per day is a good start to getting closer to this number. We know valuations grow much faster than the turnover. So second question is, what are the reasons why people switch from traditional accounting firm to Easybiz?
It's pretty simple. We don't, like I had
Is it mostly cost? They want to save money on accounting?
To be true, the price super sensitive because accounting by itself brings zero value to the business, and I'm like gladly to speak about. And
I'm sure a lot of people would disagree on that.
No, it's like it's true because I mean the business normally focusing on the sales, they have tons of different problems to solve, and accounting is not one of the problem that they want to solve, especially the foundry. I was the same foundry. I'm not a counter for whole my life, and I have mindset of the foundry who try to create the value. And so the first, of course, the price. The second, we're not just the accounter. We try to make additional value by, for example, providing the live reports that are connected to the accounting ledger so that people can see what's happening with their cash. We providing the invoice management solution. We provide different things, and moreover, there is tons of the stuff that we're working now because we want to be kind of one window for all kind of administrative and financial works. And so we're a technology company. It's important thing. We're not just the accountant, and it's everything that you need to know. That all of the value we're creating by these things.
So this real-time approach and one-stop shop where I know you guys excel at workflows. Basically, I create my invoice and the reminders are sent automatically. We know a lot of startups.
For collecting the debt,
a lot of startups.
It's a
they
feature
think about sending the invoice. Most of the time they're late, by the way, and then they forgot the reminders. They don't get paid, and sometimes they die because they run out of cash.
This feature was a surprise for the customer because you was on the demo, but it's not something that we released yet for existing customer.
Exactly, but this is where it's going. It's a lot of workflows so that entrepreneurs can focus on the core business, which, as you say, is product development and sales.
So we try to simplify as we literally calculating how much time a customer need to spend on like working with us, and as less as better we are, because the value is that you always have up-to-date information on your finance, but you don't need to spend the time. That's why we change constantly the approach. We made several mistakes last year. I'm free to discuss that, and we constantly in touch with existing customers, especially if they're unhappy in something. And me personally, I have a call with them. I have commercial director who have a call with them. We constantly collecting feedback if we're wrong somewhere, because you cannot make perfect from the day one. And that's what make us growing faster, because now we have literally zero marketing budget and we are growing faster than anybody else because our customer advise us to their friends. As you know, entrepreneurs, it's a lonely community, and they are sharing between each other, and they really our customer help us to grow and help us to build a better product as well.
Yeah, and it's interesting to see that, of course, startups are a natural client for you because we know they're super price sensitive and they like this digital native stuff, but you also get bigger companies working with you, and almost ironically you also sometimes collaborate with traditional accounting firms because there's a win-win. Like, they don't want to take care of the low added value work that you automate, and maybe you are not able to provide the very high level advising or consulting.
Yeah, and that's what I said at the beginning. That was a surprise for me because when I was building, was mostly keeping in mind the small medium business, and we didn't work at the beginning with the holding companies, but more and more we start to receiving requests from the bigger customers from, I mean, from different sides of the market across the Europe who want to structure in Luxembourg and so on. But as far as we want to keep the price competitive, we have to also to select the customer we can work with. That's how we start to make a partnership with big traditional firms, because we're receiving lots of different requests from the bigger one, and time to time we collaborate on the customer level with this firm, or we need to transfer this customer to other or advise someone.
But just too complex for you.
Yeah, but we need to be sure, and that's why we also collecting feedback after it, because we don't want to advise someone we can trust to. So
yeah, and the danger for a small company like you, a disruptor also, you're really bringing a lot of tech in a very non-tech industry, is everybody's looking at you, and of course if you ever get caught with an IML issue, all your competitors will say, you know, told you these guys are not able. So I really think it's good that you collaborate in both ways. But let's look into the future. Where do you see Easybiz and Luxembourg in 3 or 5 years? I anticipate, it's not even anticipating, there is a big consolidation taking place in the accounting world. A lot of old fiduciaries no longer want to invest in tech systems, and so we see a lot of acquisition. Where do you think this is leading in the near future?
First of all, kind of, we're a startup nation in Luxembourg, and at least we
also we say.
Yeah, at least we're saying that way. And when I started to make an Easybiz, it was from the beginning an idea that I wanted to create this kind of infrastructure to make it really happen. Because for the startup nation, you need to have infrastructure to cover at least administrative burden for these kind of startups.
Or software. In this case, it's more just a software.
To be true, it doesn't matter, because it's for all kind of business that really creating value. Because Luxembourg are famous for a holding, but the holding is not the type of the company that creating a value locally. Normally, it's owning somewhere abroad.
Makes a bit of money for the accounting firm.
Yeah,
it's easy money because there's not much activity there.
So it's accounting firm making a value. So the core point that in 3 years. We will already this year we'll launch in Belgium, and we already have lots of requests from the Belgium, from Germany, and so on. So in 3 years we want to cover central part of the Europe. We plan to have 50 million in annual revenue. It's something that we are targeting to, and of course we're planning to be a unicorn for Luxembourg, because I mean, you know me, I'm working with several companies. I have several companies, and now I dedicated huge part of my personal time on Easybiz, because I never saw in my life a company that can scale that fast.
I agree.
And I never saw a feedback like this that we have in now.
And which better place than Luxembourg, which is one of the biggest financial center in Europe.
Yes, plus there is a new regulation for EU Inc. for the Europe. And we want also to make Luxembourg the hub for EU Inc. for the whole Europe. Because it kind of we plan to adapt for the whole infrastructure level to integrate and to make it simple. Because as you know, European Commission, they issue something, but there is no regulation. It's like in Belgium, you have e-invoicing. It's obligatory to have. Do you know how many companies they're literally using nowadays the invoice? It's less than 6%. Okay. Because there is no integration for existing systems that really business are working with. So CRMs and so they didn't yet integrate. So we work closely with invoicing. We work closely with all kind of regulation, because I'm not kind of guy who think that I will change the regulation. No, I think that we should help business to adapt to this regulation. We just accept, take it as it is,
and remain compliant.
And absolutely compliant. Plus, we trying to build the technology on top of that. We are technology company, and we working with AI. We're building our own AI systems. So it's like we're training our own model to be super secure, to be fully compliant, also for new regulations.
You have to say sovereign.
Sovereign, yes, sovereign. But it's true that
of
for
course,
the sovereign
data needs to stay there.
Because if you think that most of the companies use it just the API of existing system. All data is crossing.
Of course.
And not even just from in Europe, but
also in America.
Yeah,
we know
that's true.
No, I really believe EU Inc. for you is a very clear opportunity, because once you've been building this tech infrastructure, if you launch a new market, you're just connecting to different sources of data.
Yeah.
And the notary will be in Belgium, the Register of Commerce, Luxembourg Business Register will become the Belgium business. So once you figure it out on this test market, you can easily scale by just changing the connection. And indeed, EU Inc. could be for you a phenomenal way to connect everywhere. So I surely see a lot of potential. I really hope that you will sustain this growth over the next year, so I can interview you again and we get closer and closer to this milestone. And the unicorn of Luxembourg is what you have in mind, and I hope the whole startup nation will support your efforts. So I wish you a lot of growth going further.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Boom. That was good.
Yep.
I think it worked well. So